Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives from artists, producers, engineers, and other individuals in the music industry. In each episode, we touch on not only what has helped the person succeed, but we also touch on what has shaped them into the person that they are today. I hope you're able to gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you on your own journey to success as well. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 288 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast, our first episode of 2026. So I want to welcome everyone to a brand new year, and it is the sixth full year of the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Pretty exciting right here. But today, to kick it off, we have an amazing artist from Columbia, South Carolina. Her name is Danielle. Angel joined the show this week to discuss a numerous amount of things. She talked about her love for music over the years, how she was inspired by artists like Michael Jackson early on, and how she just gets inspired by the real stories and real purpose of music and how she channels that into her own art. She talked about being able to take artist development very seriously over the past few years, improving, in every facet of her songwriting and recording. She recently put out 2 singles in 2025, one called Wake Up, the other called Bounce Back, and she dove into the purpose behind those songs and the messages behind those songs. What I loved most about this episode was hearing about her philanthropy work and the things she's doing in her local community, and really just how music ties into that in her life. I think it says a lot when an artist can really live out what they're saying in their music, and she talks about that a lot in this episode, about the importance of being able to stay true to herself, but being able to give back in so many different ways to the people around her. And I think this is the exact type of energy that is needed to start off 2026. So I'm very happy that this is the first episode we're putting out in the new year. And I want to thank Angel once again for joining me this week. Look forward to catching up with her real soon. And without further ado, let's get into this one. So I usually have the guest, to start out, just kind of introduce yourself, let us know, for those that might not know you, what you do, who are you, where are you from, and how'd you get into music?
Well, I'm Danielle. I'm from the great state of South Carolina. I live in Columbia. I am a hip hop and R&B artist. I've always loved music since I was younger growing up. I am also an aspiring philanthropist. And like I said, I've been into music growing up. Mm-hmm. It's always been my passion since I saw Thriller by Michael Jackson. Nice. And it's ironic, I was 4 years old when that happened. But when I saw it, I knew that's what I was going to do. Later in life, I got into rapping. I didn't know that I could rap until the producer said, "You want to write this for somebody else? No, you're going to do it." So it's just been, for the past few years, being hard on my artist development to make sure that I'm fully ready. And like a lot of artists just jump out there. So that's just a little background about me. I love music. I also teach children. I teach dance on the side as well. I love working with the youth because I feel like, especially someone around my age, that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we needed around that age. Someone that's like in their 30s, 40s. Basically like feeding back into them. So that's just, a little bit about me.
Yeah. Well, that's incredible. And it shows that you have different ways you can get back to people too. Because obviously giving back through music is a big thing. But I always love when I hear that people are giving back in other ways, even outside of music. And I don't think I knew that. Even researching for this episode, I don't think I knew that. So I guess I'll start there. How do you kind of balance both worlds? Because like you said, you are really heavily into trying to develop yourself as an artist and get better every single day. So how are you doing that mixed with what you're doing, on the educational side and just everything else you're involved in?
It's been a journey. I had to learn how to balance it because there would be times where my focus was too heavy on both. And I needed to find an understanding of, I know that my music is always going to have a purpose and a message, but I bounced around with what that purpose and what that message is. And so really staying heavy into teaching, like I said, teaching the youth in our community and understanding, well, I tried to curse in my music. Of course, mom and dad is like, hell no, you ain't doing that. And they're cursing at me.
Yeah.
But I always was told you don't have to do that. It's something about with what you're talking about in your music. And I didn't understand that even if it's a love song or even if it's just a random song, it always had something related to what other people go through. So to bounce back to why I'm talking about how it balances out, I know that what I'm talking about in my music is not just about what I'm going through. It's about what the youth are going through, what the older people are going through, day-to-day things. It doesn't have to be politics, you know what I mean? Yeah. Every time I say that to people, they think, oh, you're so political. I ain't saying nothing about politics. It's just about being related. Because if you turn on the radio and maybe just a random station, it's craziness with the youth and their music. But now having the understanding of what music I listened to growing up, the music they listen to now is because of what they heard from us. It's because of what we heard from what they were talking about in the 80s, like how Pop started with the message in his music. But then we had gangster rap that got really big, you know what I'm talking about? But we still had a balance. Now I feel like there's no balance in music because everybody's trying to be like other people. And that's what I preach to the youth that I'm teaching too.
Yeah.
So that's where my balance is, that even while I'm doing my music, it still ties into what I'm doing in the community.
Yeah.
Like this summer, I taught home economics because that's something that's not in schools anymore, which I didn't know how heavy it was till my grandmother passed away and I looked in her yearbook and saw, oh, you learned this in school? Like when she would tell me I did this in school, you know, she was, oh, grandma, that type of story, but actually seeing it, that's basically what is missing in our schools now, teaching the kids what you need to do once you graduate high school, how you can take care of yourself once you graduate high school. Yeah. And in my music, I even talk about things like that, like you on TikTok all the time, but what you really doing in your life? Like, are you really trying to do the trendy things or do you want to be a doctor? Because you know you can still be a doctor. You don't have to be a TikTok creator. So I talk about those things in my music too. And I bring up teaching home economics this summer because I told them I rap. You know, Miss Angel raps. And they're like, oh, Miss Angel, you can't rap. And I rap for them. I rap one of my verses. Yeah, you know. Honestly, when I started teaching them, they thought I was in high school. And I said, oh, really? Well, thank you. I ain't been in high school since 2009. I was born in 1990. But when I rapped it for them, they were like, that really, like, I had so much feedback. That really touched me because I'm going through that in my mind. I can't talk to my mom about this. I can't talk to my teacher. And I'm like, see, we think the same thing sometimes. Yeah. It's just we got to be there for each other. So that's my balance. I don't want to get too deep into it, but that's how I balance it out with feeding it through my music. Even though some music I wouldn't want them to listen to. But us, as the adults, we still need that. You know what I mean? Somebody that speaks directly to us, not somebody in their 30s trying to be 18 and 19. Like, bro, we graduated high school literally almost 20 years ago.
And there's different music for different audiences, too, which is kind of the proof of that as well. Because I know for me, I'm 28, and I don't listen to the same things I listened to when I was 16. Like, a lot of the artists I listened to back then, I'm like, I would never listen to that now, because I don't relate to that at all. I'm listening to more, like, grown-up music nowadays. So I think there's importance in that. But I think I just want to say hats off to you for doing that, because it shows that you really care about your music, but it also shows that you care about who's hearing it and the effect that it's having on others as well, which I think it does get overlooked a lot of times because people are, I don't want to say in it for the wrong reasons, but they're in it for other reasons that might not benefit people in that way. And I think that's where music at the core is so powerful, where it can have that positive impact on younger people, but just people in general. So hats off to you for being able to do that, and I think that's very awesome. So, and I definitely want to touch on, I know you dropped 2 singles this year in 2025, Wake Up and Bounce Back. So I guess just give us kind of the rundown of both those songs and what led you to put those out this past year.
Well, Wake Up actually started as a freestyle over one of Nas's beats. Nas is my favorite rapper. Best rapper.
Legend.
But it started as a freestyle over one of Nas's beats because he's come out with 6 albums in like the past 2-3 years. So I took one of those beats and I started writing to it. And this producer that I work with, Philip Banks, dope producer. He was like, no, I told you that you keep doing these freestyles over everybody else's beat. This, what you're talking about, it needs a different beat, a different feeling to it. So he went and made the beat, and the beat just sounds so like 80s storytelling type of thing. So that's when like I switched up my verses and everything, because I had the mindset of wake up. Like literally wake up.
Yeah.
Like the movie School Days, at the end of School Days, when Lawrence Fishburne is running and screaming, "Wake up!" That's literally where my mind was, because what he was talking about in that scene in the movie is, yo, we fighting and battling each other, but we all going through the same thing. Like, wake up. We supposed to be helping each other to dig ourselves out of this hole. So that's what the whole song is about. Wake up and understand that, wow, like it was a line in the song I said, you too busy online shopping while your kids TikToking. Like, what we doing? Then you get online and complain about the youth. But what are you doing? Instead of complaining, what's the kids in your household doing? And not just that, talking about just us taking accountability for where we came from too. Like I just dropped a freestyle that said, and this is, I bring the freestyle up because it's the same message as wake up. So the line in the freestyle said, we grew up on, the people that I grew up on, they was dealing in drugs. Now the kids now doing the drugs, they need a hug, because shit, we all we all are wrong in this situation. So that's what wake up is about. Like, wake up and understand that there's so much change that we can do, but we can't do it when we're just sitting and complaining or nitpicking on different things, instead of first looking in the mirror. Like, what are you doing? What am I doing to help each other instead of us bringing each other down? So that was my prayer of wake up. And honestly, right before I dropped Wake Up, I had came out about my diagnosis for MS. I was diagnosed with MS in 2018. And with the message in the song, I feel like it was so purposeful for me to come out at that time, because it's not just about the things going on in the world. It's about how are we taking care of ourselves, because people are so big on big bags and, oh, I'm never going to have a small bag. I'm going to have a big bag because this new meal came out, or just like my 600-pound life. And you know what I mean? People are not thinking about what the doctor said we try to teach us. You know, why is it that when your doctor tells you, yeah, you need to eat better, et cetera, but still take this medicine right here? You know what I mean? Like, are you really paying attention to what's going on in front of you? Like, wake up and understand that. And from me coming out about my diagnosis with that and with the message of the song, that has, honestly, people have reached out to me that are going through things like, I'm glad it's not just me going through it, hearing it from somebody else. Another thing, like, wake up and understand it's not just you going through that. I know you're looking at it and you're feeling it every day, but there's other people that are going through this too. Wake up. Yeah. The song that I just dropped, Bounce Back, was just a vibe. It was a spontaneous vibe. Ironically, after the producer made the beat for Wake Up, he just made Bounce Back. He was like, I feel like doing something just now. I was like, shit, this is dope. Then I was like, hey, get back, bounce back to real love with no flavor. Like, I just started, like, you know what I mean? It was just like off top. So it was just a vibe type of song, but still a message in it. Because I said, you know, you worried about free before 11 at the club, but are you late to work all the time? You know, you spend all your money complaining about it, but you got them lashes though. You got your makeup done though. I'm sure you got that sew in that you could do without. You know what I mean? Complaining about the guys ain't giving me money, this, that, and the third. But do you even have a job, or are you living on government assistance? Like, what we doing? So let's bounce back to the time where we wasn't so focused on our identity. That's always been a thing, identity. But with the social aspect of it, it drags you into, I have to look like this. I have to spend my last to do this. And I'm like, we got to bounce back. We don't have to go back in time. But there once was a time we can bounce back to understanding. I don't got to post everything on social media. With this dude now, I don't have to be like the next social couple. You know what I mean? Like, that's why relationships don't work a lot of time, because the other person, like, I don't want to do a damn content right now. I just want to chill.
Doing TikTok dances. Yep.
Right. So we gotta, bounce back to it. And like I had said, I think I said something about like when we would wake up at 3:00 and it would be like the after hours commercial on, you know what I mean? That's when we were like sneaking, shit. But now it's everywhere. You can just see it. You can just see it, and people are okay with it, and it's not okay. It's not okay that we can sneak and find it then either.
Yeah.
But it's not okay that it's so handy for even the youth to get into. Gotta bounce back.
Yeah. Hey there, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick minute out to let you know about a couple different ways that you can support the podcast. One of the ways is by clicking that support the podcast button within your streaming platform. That is if you want to be a monthly supporter of the show. You can contribute either 99 cents, $5, or $10 a month. So that's the first way, and that's the more traditional way that we've had now for the last couple years. The other method that we actually just recently introduced is from our good friends over at Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a virtual tip jar. We have set our limit to a minimum of $10, but you can go make one-time, one-off donations. So if you visit ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast, you'll be able to donate. And all these different forms of donation go towards getting new guests every single week, getting potential sponsors on board to do giveaways, and overall just making the show better for you guys. So if you want to do that Ko-fi link, it's ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Otherwise, again, look for that support the podcast button in your streaming platform if you'd like to be a monthly supporter. And I just want to say thank you guys for your contributions. And without further ado, let's get back into the episode. I love the layers in that too, and even just like the messaging in both songs, because like you said, they're different vibes, but they have so many different things you can absorb in the messages and then take it from there. And I feel like that shows the layers of versatility that you're putting in your own music too, because it's something that you can't just listen to once and understand it fully. You got to keep going back to it to kind of let it sit. That to me is what the best artists do. You know what I mean? So I think that says a lot about what you're doing. And again, it goes back to what I said at the beginning. Thank you for putting that attention to detail in the music, because that is really what is missing from a lot of what people are doing nowadays. So I got to say congrats on that as well. Super awesome. And I guess my next question would be, what is this going to be leading to in 2026? Because I assume you're working on some new stuff to some degree, whether it's like a new single or a project or anything. So can you reveal anything to us about what is going to be coming up here in the new year, what you're excited for?
Ooh, yes. I'm coming out with my first project.
Nice.
Finally.
Nice.
I've been saying it for years. Literally for years. But, God's timing is God's timing. Yeah. Having the right people around me, having the right tracks on the project. So that's what is happening in 2026.
Nice.
I'm taking more steps towards opening my own home economics center.
Awesome.
Where it can be a youth center for the youth to be able to go to. You don't have to see if somebody's there to book it. Everybody, a safe place for everyone. So a lot planned in 2026. A lot of doors were open in 2025. So with this project, I'm so excited for it because it has so many features on it that I prayed for. My brother travels a lot, my god brother. It's my best friend. And I was able to get him on it. And so when I was able to do a song with him, I said, oh, this is it. This is it. Like, finally. My sister is on it. My dad is on it.
Got the whole family involved?
What is that?
You got the whole family involved. I love that.
Yes. My other god brother is on it. My homie Mac is on it. I was on a show here called The Underground where I was a host. And the other host that was on the show, his name is Mecca. He's on it too. So it's dope. I'm excited for it. A lot of messages, a lot of fun, a lot of chill, a lot of maybe a little tears. So it's just, a complete package, singing and rapping.
Awesome. And do you have any maybe tentative release date you're looking at? Like what kind of time frame are we talking about for this project?
By the spring.
Nice.
I'll say that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time this drops, everybody in the next few months it'll probably be coming out. So definitely be on the lookout for it. Definitely excited for that as well.
Thank you.
And we're down to the last few questions here. These are ones I ask on every episode, more life-related ones. The first one is, if you could go back 10 years ago, give yourself any piece of advice, or maybe not change anything at all, what do you think you would do?
You said if I could go back 10 years ago and not change anything?
If you could change anything, or maybe if you don't want to change anything, what do you think you would do?
Let's see. I was 20, and that's crazy because I had just moved out my parents' house in 2015. I would change my patience. I would definitely change my patience. I was very impatient, just, young 20s, just any opportunity, I'm going to take it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're about. It was just not jumping out there to get more knowledge that I should have at the time. So I would say my patience, because I was just so ready. Well, I thought that I was so ready. Something that I wouldn't change is my work ethic, because if I didn't do the work that I've done for the past 10 years and thinking about everything, just talking out loud about it, I've never thought about everything I've done for the past 10 years, but just thinking about everything, I've grown a lot. Like, I've really gone through the artist development that I needed these past 10 years. So I wouldn't change my work ethic, because even though I was impatient, still taking those chances taught me a lot. And it brought me to where I am now.
Yeah. It's amazing to see the growth as a person. And I think that says a lot about where you're at with this album, too, because I think the album will probably tell a lot of those stories in it as well. So that's exciting. And 10 years from now, if we flip that question, we say 10 years from now, where do you think you envision yourself musically and in life in general?
Musically, I envision myself wherever God says that I should be. Because that's another thing I learned, to watch my words. Because I could say I want to be like 10 Grammys in and Broadway, because Broadway is my dream. But I'm just going to say I'm going to follow the steps that God orders. And I know that my destiny is in 10 years to be further in my music. I pray that my music reaches the people that it needs to reach in the next 10 years, that I grow as an artist, that I grow as a writer, I grow as a mother, I grow as a person in general. I pray that in 10 years I'll have my youth center, like I keep talking about, and that I can do it in different communities and not just my own, that I can persuade other people to step into the community and do other things, so that I'm 10 years from now, I'm full on in my philanthropist role. Like, I love Angela Davis. I love Dr. King and Malcolm X, not the everyday things that people talking about, but what their purpose was to do for us. And it is possible for other people not to have the power that they had, but to walk in those footsteps, to do what they said. Like Angela Davis said, I'm no longer accepting the things that I'm no longer accepting the things I can no longer accept. I'm changing the things that I can't accept. I hope I said that right. But you get my gist.
Hey, it's inspiring either way.
Following in those footsteps and continuing to not let people that want me to be like someone else tear me down and bring me back, because that was something that for the past 10 years I did allow, for people to say, well, this is what's on the radio, this is what's being shown and everything. So for the next 10 years, I pray to keep on influencing other people to be yourself, because that's why you have the gift that you have.
Exactly. Yeah. I was going to say, either way, that quote is so inspiring. Like, I was getting chills when you said that. I'm like, that's amazing. So, and that leads me to the final question, which is, that right there is some words of wisdom. But do you have any other words of wisdom for the listeners before we get out of here?
Well, my favorite quote has always been, to the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you can mean the world. And that means that you have a purpose, even if it's to touch just one person, or even if it's to do something for one person. It doesn't matter if it's 1 or 1,000 or 1,000,000. It's just the fact that you to that other person, you could, whatever you do in that moment can mean the world. Even if you have a seminar and excuse me, you feel like I'm not touching anybody, nobody's saying nothing to me afterwards, but you don't know you did touch that one person that didn't say nothing to you. But God had all those people there for their reasons. But that one person that you touched, they're going to take that with them for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
So just always remember that whatever you're doing, make sure it has purpose and reason.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that you're saying is your destiny. It doesn't have to be music. Everybody doesn't have to be a rapper. Everybody doesn't have to want to be in the industry in general. Like I said, whatever God orders my steps for the next 10 years is what he orders, whether it's in the industry or whatever he says. But I feel that social media has gotten everyone's mind so consumed with, I have to have this, put this out so it can reach like 1,000,000 people, can have, get my money off. No. Like, no. No, focus on you and what you're supposed to be doing. So that's my words of wisdom.
Well, I got to say, Angel, I think you're doing that in full stride. And like I've said a few times in this episode, don't take that for granted, because I think that's something definitely to be proud of. And I want to congratulate you again on not only what you've been putting out music-wise, what you're going to put out, but also what you're doing for your community and the people around you as well. And I thank you again for stopping by today. That's all I have for you. But if you ever want to come back and do a part 2, I would love to catch up and see what you got going on in the next few years. So thank you again.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for listening today. That was episode 288. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit that support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send us any funds, and feel free to leave us that 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. So we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.